Pennsylvania.
All right. First of all, just tell us where you've been in the last couple of weeks and why you were there.
Okay. Well, I just returned home on Thanksgiving Day from Phoenix, Arizona. I was in a place called Casa Grande, Arizona, which is about 80 miles north of the Mexican border in central Arizona.
Now, you do this as a volunteer or what?
Yes, it's a volunteer organization, just a group of Americans, mostly ex-veterans, a lot of ex-law enforcement, a lot of older gentlemen, believe it or not, some women. So it's just a volunteer group that's taking things into their own hands, I guess.
And your charge basically is what, to go down and if you see people that shouldn't be there, to let somebody know, or?
Yeah, right. There's two different. I think there's two different issues that we need to discuss. I mean, number one, that being illegal alien activity, and that's a whole different ballgame in itself. And that is just basically reporting groups or people that are suspicious out in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. And then you have the issue of the drug cartel, and that's basically right now where my group wants to concern itself, because it's a major problem, the drug trafficking.
Now tell us, we were talking about just a few minutes ago, once you got there, you heard within what, minutes or hours?
Yeah, my first trip to Arizona, and of course the plane was late getting into Phoenix, so everything was kind of a jumble, but I get into the forward operating base, FOB, kind of late. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and the guys had some food there, Spam of all things, out of a can cooked on fire. So that was their greeting to me. But within an hour of being at the forward operating base, we heard automatic gunfire from Vico Mountains, which are probably less than 4 miles away from the camp. So welcome to Arizona.
And obviously the gunfire is from what you think? With the cartels,
probably drug cartels. It could have been Border Patrol, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, or Sheriff's Department back there doing an operation. They do a lot of operations, but the area they have to cover is so vast, and they don't have the resources and the manpower to do it. So it could have been, the gunfire could have been from them, but normally what you hear a lot about, especially in the Vico Mountains, is rival drug cartels and pirates, believe it or not. Pirates trying to steal the drugs off the cartels, or rival cartels competing, I guess, if you will. So that could have been where that gunfire was coming from.
But even if it wasn't, just in general, there's a lot of infighting, I guess. It's not just the cartels.
Sure, yeah.
The border guys.
A couple months ago, two Mexicans were found dead. Probably what the Sheriff's Department seems to think is that it was a drug cartel fight. And actually the one guy had called 911 on his cell phone from the Vico Mountains and said he was shot, and he was out there, and he subsequently expired. But it was definitely drug cartel versus drug cartel fighting. And that's, again, 80 miles north of the border.
Now, if I tell you, and it's a true story, this morning we had a story on they found another tunnel in San Diego, the second one within, I think, a month or so. Would that surprise you?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I've learned a lot in my short time there. It's definitely not the little guys. You have groups of 10, maybe 20, and all of them are carrying maybe 25, 30-pound packs, maybe 50-pound packs. But, you know, that's not how they make their money. They make their money with the big loads. And the tunnels are one thing, which is something I would like to see someday, but a lot of it's stolen vehicles from the United States. They take them back to Mexico, load them up, and drive them through the desert where there's no lights. Out in the desert, they have these things called washes. We would call, I don't know, little stream beds, but obviously they're empty, and it's like a roadway. It's like an interstate for drug traffic. Those guys will start down in Mexico and follow those washes all the way to Interstate 8, which is 80 miles north of the border.
Probably while you were out there just a few weeks ago, I watched it. I think it was the Discovery Channel, National Geographic, one of them, and they did a feature on the border agents. And as good as they are, do you feel that we're outnumbered, outmanned?
They're good guys. I mean, they're all young guys. I mean, they were the guys that I did come in contact with were hard chargers, but there's not enough of them. Understand the area that I was in, called Cartel Corridor, is a 50-mile stretch of open desert and rugged mountains. I mean, it goes from desert floor of nothing to peaks over 3,000 feet. And it's tough to cover. It's tough to cover. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. And the drug cartels have been doing it for years, so they're not stupid. They're very sly, and very good at what they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
Do they usually move at night? Is that?
No, because our actual drug bust that we encountered was 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was an accident, basically.
So they're pretty brazen, I guess.
Oh, they're very brazen. My first night there, we were out on operations in the evening. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're getting ready to set up in a wash to monitor in an LPOP, listening post or observation post. And there's a trafficking sign that the government put up along the southern side of I-8, and it just warns visitors that they may encounter illegal immigration or drug trafficking in this area. Well, when the cartel brings their drugs by pack over, they make a special harness, and that harness holds the package of marijuana, or heroin, or methamphetamine, I might add. That harness holds that package on their back while they're making that trek. And they were so brazen that they hung all of their harnesses on that sign that said, "You may encounter problems."
And people may not realize, but I mean, you are actually taking money from them. I mean, this is so important.